Now that you have your Pinterest account set up, it is time to create pins that actually gets clicks. That sounds a little tough. Gets clicked in order for people to come to your website so you can make more sales and build your community. If you're new here, I am Kate Ahl. I own the company Simple Pin Media. We are an agency helping business owners leverage Pinterest to grow their business, make more sales, and build their community. This is part of a 6-part series in how to get your Pinterest account set up right. You can find all the videos in a playlist on my channel if you want to go view those. Okay, let's dive into what makes an amazing pin that gets all those clicks. But first, I'll say this. If you don't have your Pinterest account set up, go back and watch video 2 to make sure everything's set up. I promise that foundation, if you have it done, once it's done, you don't really have to go back and do it all that much. But we want to make sure that's done before you dive into pin creation, because this will be where the majority of your Pinterest marketing work is done. So what makes a pin really awesome? What makes it perform, and what is Pinterest like, and what are they looking for in a pin? Pinterest wants to show users content that they're interested in. They want to hit them exactly where they're at so that they can go, oh yes, this is what I was looking for, or I didn't even know that existed. It's this aha moment they're trying to create. They want to make sure that when people open up Pinterest and they see pins on their feed, it matches exactly what they're searching for or what they're interested in. In order to get into that feed, you need to have a clear image with really great copy on the image and a fantastic description in that pin. Now, it seems like a lot, but I'm going to break it down for you step by step here. But I'm also going to tell you first, this is what doesn't work. Really vague images, a lot of stock imagery, clickbait, things that are not helpful to the end user on Pinterest, but maybe they're helpful for you. Maybe it's a spammy tactic you heard about and you thought you might try it. It's really important when you think of creating Pinterest images, you really think about connecting with a future end user. One of the things we talk about here is that Pinterest is a cold platform. We actually talk about this back in video 1, where we compare Pinterest to Instagram. I'm not going to go into it here, so you should go watch that video, but it's really important that you understand the context at which you're marketing so that you can create really great images. So let's break it down. Let's start with a pin. What is a pin? It is simply an image that lives on Pinterest that leads to another destination. It is always going to be best in a vertical ratio. 2 to 3 is the best, or 1000 by 1500. If you use Canva, it's super easy for you to create a pin in there using their pre-size for a Pinterest image. So don't overthink it. Don't listen to where people say you should go 1000 by 3000 or 1 to 5. Just stick with 2 to 3. And here's why. The end user on Pinterest, the one actually using the platform that you want to engage with, that's the one they prefer. So stick with that. Now that we know the size, your pin image needs to display what it is you're talking about so quickly. Think billboard advertising. This is even more important than a platform like Instagram. When I see an image on Instagram, I look at it and I think, I don't really know the context. What are they talking about? So I click down below and I read more. On Pinterest, people don't really want to read. They want to know everything they need to know about that image and what they're going to find on the other side, whether it's a product or a piece of content, all there in that image. So if you are driving down the freeway and you see these billboards and you just have a little bit of time to catch what it's about, that's what that advertiser is trying to do. That's very similar on Pinterest. So when you are creating your images, think, will somebody know exactly what this is about and want to click within 1 second or less? That means you have to use a really clear image, something that doesn't confuse people and that it clearly matches what people are going to see on the other side of the click. What this means is that if you're talking about the best mattresses, your image doesn't have a picture of, I don't know, granola or even a sheep, right? I think a lot of people associate sheep with sleep because of counting sheep, but you want to actually put on that image the best mattresses for side sleepers. you're now qualifying that you're not talking about the best mattresses in general. That's way too broad, but you're talking about the best mattresses for side sleepers. And in order for me as a user to connect the dots, I actually want to see an image of a person laying on the side on their mattress. And if I see that image, I want to have a little bit of text right above it that says, the best mattresses for side sleepers. Are we tracking? Here's what I did for you. I created a super easy, simple Canva Pinterest pin in our Canva account. You can see it right here. This is what it should look like. The best mattresses for side sleepers with a person side sleeping. Okay, do we get it? 1 second or less, I know exactly what it's about. And if you connect with me and I am actually looking for a mattress for side sleepers, because guess what? I am a side sleeper. I'm going to click. Check. Another thing about this pin example is that I didn't use a ton of words. I'm not putting brand names on this image. I'm not adding more about why such and such mattress is the best. I'm simply using a phrase that is 3 to 5 words long. Now let me share with you something really quickly here. Over the years on Pinterest, and if you're a seasoned Pinterest user, you might know this. There have been a lot of infographics, which means there's all the information on the pin image. In fact, somebody I met at a conference, she had done this way back in the day about the different types of magnesium, which was so helpful. But guess what? She had so much information on there and it was so helpful. Nobody ever clicked. They saved her pin, but they never came to her website so she could tell them the exact brand that she used and why she was faithful to that brand, meaning she missed out on sales. So it's really important that you stick to being brief. Again, think about driving down the freeway. You're looking at a billboard. You only have a few seconds to really understand what it's about. Don't give away all the information on the image. Another component that I think is missed sometimes is branding. It's okay for you to put your logo on the particular pin image. In fact, I encourage it. You just want to avoid the bottom right-hand corner. And this is simply because on a pin image, as we see here, you'll have the little overlay for visual search. Pinterest is amazing at visual search. And so they want to have an opportunity for people who are, say, looking at a living room design. They can hover over a pillow and all of a sudden they can see more examples of that pillow. It's not directly what that pin is about. Maybe it's about home decor or how to style a living room. But when I see it and I connect with that pin image, I really want that pillow. So this is why we avoid putting our logo in the bottom right corner of a pin image. But feel free to put your logo anywhere else. But what I highly discourage, don't slap your URL right over the top, and especially start it with www, which feels like so the aughts. You want to just put Tasteful Branding, Simple Pin Media, or our simple logo is on our images. Another thing you want to check is a really great high quality photos. Don't use things that are blurry. I highly discourage stock photos. If you can at all hire somebody for your products to do flat lays or images of your products, you can certainly use any great AI tools to add backgrounds or things like that, but you want to make sure that you are getting very clean, crisp images. We have hired photographers here at Simple Pin Media over the years to give us flat lays so that we can use those for pin images, or we have pictures taken of our PDFs, or sometimes we'll have pictures taken of our team so we can use a variety of images that kind of look like stock, but there are stock images. Tools. Which ones to use? I've already told you my favorite is Canva. I know there's a lot out there. And what I'll say this, when it comes to choosing a tool for creating Pinterest images, I like to focus on 2 things. 1, how productive does it make you? Do you get distracted by a lot of other things? Are you sitting there in front of the computer just wondering, how am I going to create this image? And I feel so stuck, or I'm getting distracted. You want to avoid ones that do that. And then number 2, you want to use ones that make sense for how your brain works. Maybe it's the UX experience and how you use this particular platform. I like Canva because it has a great user experience within the dashboard. And I don't sit in front of the computer for hours and go, what am I doing? So it's a favorite, but I'd love for you to comment below if you have a different favorite, because I know people watching this video will want to see multiple examples. Now that you've created a really great image, You are ready to upload it to Pinterest. When you do that, what you see here on the screen is multiple prompts you need to fill out. You're only halfway done with creating your pin image. You want to then add a pin title. A pin title is a very catchy 3 to 5 word phrase. Oftentimes on Pinterest too, when people are scrolling through, they'll see this pin title. So if you want to give it a specific catchy title, how to find the best mattresses for side sleepers, that would be a great pin title. Now we're going to move on to the pin description. This is where you can add more context. You can go up to 500 characters, but I don't suggest that you worry about characters. You more worry about connection. That's very important. I want you to think about writing your description like you would be sending a text to a friend. So if I'm taking the mattress example, what I would do is say, have you been struggling to find the right mattress for you as a side sleeper? Here's a list of the 5 best that are tested and tried with reviews that you can trust. So go check out the list and make sure you start sleeping great again, or something like that. You can use any type of ChatGPT or AI tools to help you write them or get the process started. But the most important thing in that is that I use specific keywords. Best mattresses, side sleeper. Now, if you want to go another level, which I don't want to get too deep in this, because what I really want you to do is get into the habit of creating the pin title, and creating the pin description. But keyword research really, really is important. So I want to touch on it real quick. Okay, if you're struggling with what keywords to use, simply go up to the search bar on Pinterest and start typing in mattresses for side sleepers. Then what you'll see is a whole list of ideas and options there below. You can grab some of those keywords there, but in this example, there's not really a whole lot to expand on. Here's a formula I use for writing my pin description. What is this? Who is it for? What they're going to learn, and where they can go to find it. If you can put that into that text kind of message that I was talking about, then you will write great descriptions every time. Don't overthink it. Again, I'll repeat that. What this is, who it's for, what they'll get, and where they can go to find it. Okay, next step. Adding your link. This is the number one frustration that pinners have. They will go onto Pinterest, they will find something amazing, and they go to click, and it is a dead link. And they are wondering, how do I find this? So they go to that visual search tool and they hover over it again. And guess what they find? A bunch of more pins that have been saved that also don't have the link. Here's the deal. If you pin to Pinterest and somebody else pins it and it multiplies, you're thinking to yourself, well, I'll just edit the pin. But that's not how it works, unfortunately, is that original pin, you can edit it. But all those other pins that are out there on Pinterest, they stay the way they are. So when you are adding your pin to Pinterest, the number one thing, this might be the annoying voice in your head that you need to tell yourself is add a link, add a link, add a link. I cannot tell you how many people forget to add a link, which means that people who are trying to find your content on Pinterest will not know where to go. Add a link. Now, this can be to your product page. This can be to a page on your website, but it needs to be in the page that matches what the pin is talking about, because we don't want the pinner to come to our website and be like, where am I? This doesn't make sense. Before we move on to our last topic, I just want to camp on something else here really quick when it comes to a link. A lot of people make the mistake of just leading to a homepage, but that doesn't give people anything. Let's take our mattress example again. Let's say we have this really great post about mattresses for side sleepers, but we link to our main homepage where we're talking about tons of other reviews around the home. Now I get to your website and I'm really curious about mattresses for side sleepers, but I can't find it. So now I have to search, go through another hurdle. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I even get annoyed putting in my name and email. I'm not going to search your site. So it's really important that you add the destination link that goes exactly where the pinner wants it. That's what increases your sales. That's what increases your email list building and growing of your community. All right, let's actually do it. I'm going to walk you through the exact process here. You can see me. I am going to upload a pin. I'm going to add the pin title. I'm going to add the pin description, and then I'm going to add the URL. That's it. That's the most basic way that you can upload a pin to Pinterest that will get more clicks and will result in more sales, result in more email list growth, and result in building your community. If you want to start with templates and you want to start with high performing templates, we have them here at Simple Pin Media. We have a design team where we create Pinterest images for clients. I'm going to leave a link below. These are Canva templates that you can buy for really inexpensive, and you can get started this way. Sometimes you want to start something from scratch, and that's fine. But if you're like me and you don't feel like you need to reinvent the wheel and you need a really good starter, this is a really good starter for you. So go grab our Simple Pin templates below. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we just learned. 1, you need a really great image. 2, you need to nail your copy on the image. 3, you need to make sure you fill out your pin title, your pin description, and always add a pin link. In the next video, we're going to dive into Pinterest keywords. I touched on it a little bit when I was talking about completing the description, but in the next one, I'm going to go a little bit deeper about what that looks like and how you can do some really great keyword research to create great Pinterest descriptions that will get your pins found in search. Make sure you're subscribed and you like this video, and wait for the next video to come out. If you are watching this in real time and you have to wait 2 weeks in order for the next one to come out, then get your Pinterest images created, have them really into this whole rhythm so that you're ready for this next video about Pinterest keywords. Side note, if you need a little more help or a little bit more feedback, or you want to have some thoughtful discussion around this, we have an insiders group. It's just a low monthly fee, like cheaper than a coffee, definitely cheaper than my oat milk latte, called SPM Insiders. You can click the link below, and we do some pin threads. We talk about pin creation. We talk about what pins we love and what it did for us and how we can improve. It's a really great community for thoughtful discussion. Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching.